Good morning and welcome to the Morning Outlook. I'm Rachel Jones reporting from Kalkine TV Sydney studios, coming live to you. Now, the Australian share market is expected to rise this morning. According to the latest SPI futures, the ASX 200 is likely to open 36 points higher. That's 0.5% higher. At the closing bell yesterday, the S&P ASX 200 was 0.8% or 57 points lower at 7,261. The best performing sector yesterday was the energy sector. That was up almost 1%. The worst performing sector was the tech sector, down 2.4%. The best performing stock was Whitehaven coal. Their shares closed 5.5% higher at $4.64. The worst performing stock was Life 360. Their shares closed 29.4% lower at $3.77. Now, looking to some business news from this morning now, and Fortescue production report for the March quarter shows iron ore shipments of 46.5 million tonnes for the third quarter of financial year 2022. That's 10% higher than the third quarter financial year 2021, contributing to record shipments for the 9 months to the 31st of March of 139.5 million tonnes. Chief Executive Officer Elizabeth Gaines says this strong performance is underpinned by the successful delivery and ramp-up of the Eliwana project and execution of their integrated operations and also their marketing strategy, resulting in the upgrade to financial year 2022 shipment guidance to 185 to 188 million tonnes. Moving on, and Coles has grown their revenue 3.9% in the March quarter. The supermarket chain saw gross retail sales of $9.3 billion and group sales revenue of $9.1 billion. That increased by 3.6% for the third quarter. Now, this quarter was characterized by unprecedented events such as high COVID-19 Omicron cases in January, which resulted in increased staff absenteeism. Also, floods in South Australia caused severe road and rail logistic disruptions into Western Australia and the Northern Territory, and in particular the East-West rail network with the single train line into both states closed for 4 weeks. Supermarkets, which accounted for $8.2 billion of the sales revenue, faced pressure from flooding in Queensland and New South Wales that resulted in 130 stores shutting for part of that quarter. And finally, Nickel Mines has received a no objection notification to Shanghai Decent's application to increase its ownership in the nickel mines to up to 22%. As announced back on the 9th of February, Nickel Mines launched an equity capital raising to fund the acquisition of its initial 30% interest in the Oracle nickel project, including $160 million non-underwritten placement to Shanghai Decent. In addition to the Foreign Investment Review Board approval, the company's equity interest in Oracle Nickel could increase from 10% to 30%. And Shanghai's equity interest in the company will increase 21.15%. We're going to take a short break now, but we'll be back with everything you need to know to trade today.
Hi there, James Preston for Kalkine TV. Are you into gaming and virtual reality? Does AI and the endless possibilities it entails capture your interest? Or are you constantly trawling through the web to try and discover the latest updates and innovations in the tech space? Well, let us do the work for you. From the latest product launches to shocking affairs on the World Wide Web, exclusive interviews and information about the top companies like Apple and Google to brand new tech startups vying for your attention. Kalkine's Tech Beat has the latest in what matters in the world of technology. Join me every single Thursday on the Tech Beat, exclusive to Kalkine TV.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching the Morning Outlook report. Now, on Wall Street, the Dow Jones rose 0.2%, the S&P 500 rose 0.2% also, and the Nasdaq traded flat. Over in Europe, the Stoxx 50 rose 0.4%, the FTSE was up 0.5%, and the CAC gained 0.5%, with the DAX ending 0.3% higher. The Pan-European Stoxx 600 rose 0.7% after having hit 6-week lows at the open. MSCI's benchmark for global equity markets retreated 0.17%. Emerging market stocks fell 0.54%. Meanwhile, weak Chinese stocks bucked the trend, gaining almost 3% as data showed faster profit growth at industrial firms in March than a year earlier. The US dollar index hit a 5-year high, and the Australian dollar got a much-needed lift yesterday as data showed inflation blew past all expectations last quarter. Oil prices rose modestly yesterday due to ongoing concerns about tight worldwide supply, underscored by another drawdown in US distillate and gasoline inventories. Brent crude futures settle up 33 cents to $105.32 a barrel. WTI crude ended up 32 cents to $102.02 a barrel. Gold slipped to a more than 2-month though, as on Wednesday, as the dollar rallied on expectation of aggressive monetary policy tightening by the US Federal Reserve. Spot gold fell 0.8% to $1,890 an ounce. Meanwhile, Chinese iron ore and steel futures rose yesterday after falling for 2 consecutive days. That's as concerns stoked by the COVID-19 outbreak eased somewhat. The most active iron ore contract for September delivery jumped as much as 3.5% to $127.19 a tonne in the morning session. They ended up 2.6% at 827 yuan. Well, have a great day trading and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is Rachel signing off for now.